They say New York City doesn't just welcome you, it swallows you whole. From the very first step, you feel the energy vibrating beneath your feet, the towering buildings closing in above, and the endless stream of people rushing past, as if the entire city is a living, breathing machine. This is the city where dreams are made, where countless stories unfold every single second. And if you only have 5 days to experience it, then there's no time to waste. Let's begin your journey right in the beating heart of Manhattan, where the city reveals its most iconic face. Your first stop is none other than Times Square. Now, you've seen it in movies, you've seen it in photos, but nothing can prepare you for the overwhelming spectacle of being there in person. The moment you step into the square, you're surrounded by a kaleidoscope of neon lights, digital billboards the size of buildings, and a crowd that never seems to stop moving. It's loud, chaotic, and electrifying, and that's exactly what makes it unforgettable. Street performers captivate audiences on every corner, tourists snap photos in awe, and yellow cabs honk their way through the traffic as if choreographed to the city's rhythm. Take your time here. Let the lights blind you, let the sounds overwhelm you, and let yourself sink into the madness of it all. Because Times Square is New York, at its loudest, boldest, and most unapologetic. After soaking in the energy of Times Square, it's time to walk just a few blocks toward Rockefeller Center. This complex is more than just a set of buildings, it's a cultural landmark. During the holiday season, you'll find the world's most famous Christmas tree and a skating rink that looks straight out of a movie. But even outside of winter, Rockefeller Center is alive with shops, art, and architecture that showcase the grandeur of New York. And here's where you should head up to one of the city's best-kept secrets, the top of the Rock observation deck. From the top, the city stretches endlessly in every direction. To one side, you see the Empire State Building rising proudly against the skyline, and to the other, Central Park, lying like a green jewel in the middle of Manhattan. It's one of those views that remind you why New York is considered the capital of the world. Of course, speaking of iconic views, you can't miss the Empire State Building itself. Just a short walk away, this towering masterpiece has been the symbol of New York since the 1930s. Step inside and you're not just entering a building, you're stepping into history. The Art Deco design, the buzzing atmosphere of visitors from every corner of the globe, and the anticipation as you ascend to the 86th floor build up to a climax that words can barely capture. And then, there it is, the view. From this height, New York feels infinite avenues slicing straight through the city, skyscrapers packed shoulder to shoulder, and the Hudson River glistening in the distance. This is the very scene that has been immortalized in films and dreams for nearly a century, and now it's yours to witness. After descending from the clouds, it's time to find a calmer side of Midtown. Just a few blocks away lies Bryant Park, a small but enchanting urban oasis surrounded by trees, gardens, and elegant buildings. In the summer, it's filled with locals lounging on the grass, sipping iced coffee, or catching free performances. In the winter, it transforms into a holiday wonderland with a skating rink and festive markets. Right next to it stands the New York Public Library, a majestic building with marble halls and towering columns. Step inside, even for a few minutes, and you'll feel like you've entered another world, quiet, timeless, and filled with the wisdom of centuries. As day turns to evening, it's time for an experience that defines New York more than anything else: Broadway. No matter what show you choose, whether it's a long-running classic or a brand new hit, the moment the curtain rises, you're swept into a world of music, drama, and emotion. Broadway is not just theater, it's a celebration of creativity, talent, and storytelling at its finest. Sitting in that audience, surrounded by people from all around the world, you realize you're part of something larger than life. And when you step back out into Times Square after the show, the lights will seem even brighter, the streets even busier, and the city even more alive. Day one in New York has been a whirlwind of sights, sounds, and emotions. From the chaos of Times Square to the serenity of Bryant Park, from soaring views at the top of the Rock to the timeless beauty of Broadway, you've tasted the very essence of what makes this city unforgettable. But here's the thing, you've only just begun. New York City isn't just about skyscrapers and flashing lights. It's a city of culture, creativity, and soul. And on your second day, it's time to discover the side of New York that beats a little slower, thinks a little deeper, and shows you the art, history, and spirit that have shaped the world. If day one introduced you to the city's bold energy, day two will reveal its heart. Start your morning where New Yorkers go when they need a breath of fresh air, Central Park. It's not just a park. It's a masterpiece carved into the middle of a concrete jungle. As you step in, the noise of the city fades, replaced by the sound of rustling leaves, distant music, and the rhythm of joggers pounding the pathways. Walk toward Bow Bridge, one of the park's most romantic spots, where its graceful arch reflects on the water below. Or row a boat on the lake, drifting beneath the shadow of Manhattan's towers. Every corner of Central Park has its own story. Bethesda Terrace, with its famous fountain, strawberry fields dedicated to John Lennon, and the great lawn where locals gather for concerts and picnics. Spending your morning here isn't just about sightseeing, it's about feeling the balance between nature and city life. A balance that New York has mastered like nowhere else. From there, head to a place where the world's greatest treasures are waiting for you, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, or simply the Met. Step through its grand entrance, and you enter a different universe. Imagine walking through ancient Egypt, standing before the Temple of Dendur, transported stone by stone, or gazing at centuries-old suits of armor. Just a few galleries away, you'll find yourself face to face with Van Gogh's self-portraits, Monet's water lilies, and Renaissance masterpieces that defined art itself. The Met isn't a museum, it's a time machine, a doorway into the minds and hands of humanity across thousands of years. Even if you have only a couple of hours, let yourself get lost here. Wander until you find the piece that speaks to you, because in a place this vast, art always finds you. But New York doesn't just honor the past, it celebrates the modern, the bold, the revolutionary. That's why your next stop is the Museum of Modern Art, known as MoMA. Here, you'll find works that shocked the world, challenged the rules, and redefined creativity. From Picasso's Cubism to Warhol's pop art, from Dali's surrealist dreams to Pollock's explosive canvases, this is where art speaks in new languages. Stand in front of Van Gogh's Starry Night and feel the emotions swirl through the brushstrokes. Walk through installations that make you question what art really is. MoMA is not just a gallery, it's an experience, one that makes you see the world through different eyes. After so much exploration, you'll be ready to taste another piece of New York's culture, its food. Head to the Upper West Side, a neighborhood brimming with charm and history. Here, you'll find old-school delis and bakeries that have been serving locals for generations. Nothing says New York quite like a bagel loaded with cream cheese, or a thick, juicy pastrami sandwich stacked so high it almost defies gravity. Sit by the window of a cozy cafe, sip a hot coffee, and watch the neighborhood unfold outside. This isn't just lunch, it's a slice of everyday life in the city. In the afternoon, take a slow walk down Fifth Avenue, one of the most famous streets in the world. On one side, you'll pass luxury shops with dazzling window displays, each more elaborate than the last. On the other, you'll find historic landmarks that have stood the test of time. The street itself feels like a runway, where the glamour of the city struts proudly for the world to see. Even if shopping isn't your plan, Fifth Avenue is about soaking in the elegance and energy that define Manhattan. As the day begins to wind down, make your way toward the Flatiron building. Its triangular shape, wedged perfectly into the intersection of Broadway and Fifth, has made it one of the city's most photographed landmarks. At sunset, the golden light hits its steel facade, casting shadows that make it look almost like a painting. Stand there, camera in hand, and take it in. The Flatiron isn't the tallest or the flashiest, but it has a charm that captures the soul of New York, unique, bold, and timeless. And as evening falls, Let yourself wander back into the city streets without a plan. That's the magic of New York sometimes. The best experiences are the ones you don't schedule. Step into a jazz club, grab a slice of New York-style pizza from a corner shop, or simply sit on a bench and watch the city come alive with lights. Day 2 has shown you a different side of New York. From the peaceful beauty of Central Park to the awe of the Met, from the bold visions at MoMA to the timeless charm of Fifth Avenue, you've seen that this city is not just about its skyline, it's about its soul. And the deeper you look, the more you realize. New York isn't a place you visit, it's a place you feel. Some say New York is a city built on dreams, but it's also a city built on resilience. Every street, every landmark, carries stories of hope, struggle, and triumph. And on your 3rd day, you'll uncover the history that shaped not just New York, but the very idea of America itself. This is the day when you feel the weight of the past, the pride of the present, and the unshakable spirit that defines the Big Apple. Start the morning with a ferry ride across the harbor to the Statue of Liberty. As the boat glides away from Manhattan, the skyline stretches behind you like a steel crown on the horizon. And then, rising from the water, she comes into view, Lady Liberty. Standing tall, torch raised, as if she's been waiting just for you. For over a century, this statue has been the first glimpse of America for millions of immigrants arriving by sea. Imagine what it must have felt like, exhausted, uncertain, but filled with hope as that green figure appeared through the mist. Step onto Liberty Island, walk around her base, and let the magnitude of her presence sink in. She's not just a statue, she's a promise carved in copper. From Liberty Island, take the short ride to Ellis Island. Inside the Immigration Museum, you'll walk the same halls that once held millions of arrivals, each carrying nothing more than a suitcase and a dream. The wooden benches, the inspection rooms, the faded photographs on the walls, all of it whispers stories of determination. Families who risked everything to start anew. Faces from every corner of the globe, all converging here to build lives in a city that would become a symbol of diversity. Stand in the registry room, where so many futures began, and you'll feel the invisible presence of those who came before, the silent heartbeat of history still echoing through the walls. Back in Manhattan, it's time for a different kind of remembrance, the 9/11 Memorial and Museum. This is not just a site, it's a place of reflection. 2 vast, reflecting pools sit in the footprints of the Twin Towers, waterfalls cascading endlessly into the ground, symbolizing both loss and resilience. Around the edges, the names of every life lost are engraved, a reminder that New York's story is written not only in steel and glass, but in human lives. Inside the museum, artifacts, recordings, and exhibits tell the story of September 11th with raw honesty. It's impossible not to feel the weight of it, the heartbreak, the courage, the unity that followed. This visit isn't easy, but it's necessary. It shows you the true strength of New York, a city that refuses to fall. After such a powerful morning, take some time to breathe at Battery Park, just steps away from the memorial. This waterfront park is a quiet spot where locals jog, children play, and the breeze from the harbor carries a sense of calm. Sit on a bench, look out at the water, and let the city slow down for a moment. When you're ready, head into the neighborhoods that represent New York's immigrant roots, Chinatown and Little Italy. In Chinatown, the streets are lined with markets bursting with colors and aromas, hand-pulled noodles sizzling in tiny kitchens, red lanterns swaying above narrow alleys, shops selling everything from herbal teas to Lucky Charms. Just a few blocks away, Little Italy greets you with the smell of garlic, fresh pasta, and espresso. Here, Italian heritage is celebrated with pride, and every meal feels like a tradition passed down through generations. Whether it's dumplings or cannoli, this is where you taste New York's history, one bite at a time. As the day turns to evening, make your way toward one of the most iconic walks in the world, the Brooklyn Bridge. Begin on the Manhattan side, where the stone towers rise like ancient guardians, cables stretching across like a giant harp. As you walk, the skyline unfolds beside you, the buildings glowing as the sun sets and the city lights flicker on. Halfway across, stop and look back at Manhattan. The skyscrapers sparkle against the twilight sky, the reflection shimmering in the East River. It's the kind of view that takes your breath away, the kind that makes you fall in love with New York all over again. By the time you step into Brooklyn, night has fallen, and the city is alive with light. End your day with a view from Brooklyn Bridge Park, where Manhattan shines in full glory across the water. The Statue of Liberty stands in the distance. The Freedom Tower reaches for the stars, and the entire skyline glitters like a living constellation. Day 3 has been different, deeper, more emotional. From the hope of Ellis Island to the heartbreak of the 9/11 Memorial, from the flavors of immigrant neighborhoods to the breathtaking walk across the Brooklyn Bridge, today has shown you the resilience of New York. This city is not just about buildings and lights, it's about people, stories, and survival. And as you look out across the East River at the city that never sleeps, you'll understand something profound. New York isn't just a place you visit, it's a place that stays with you forever. Your final day in New York isn't about racing from landmark to landmark, it's about slowing down and living the city like a true New Yorker. This is the day where you leave behind the tourist checklist and slip into the rhythm of everyday life, discovering neighborhoods and moments that make the city unforgettable in a quieter, more personal way. Because to truly know New York, you have to walk its streets, taste its flavors, and breathe in its spirit. Begin your morning in Greenwich Village, a neighborhood that feels like it's been pulled out of a different era. Unlike the sharp grit of Midtown, the streets here twist and curve unexpectedly, filled with historic brownstones, cozy cafes, and hidden courtyards. Washington Square Park is the perfect place to start the day. Beneath the towering arch, street musicians play jazz. Pianists roll upright pianos into the open air, and students from nearby NYU sprawl out on the grass. The energy here is free-spirited and creative, a reminder that this neighborhood has long been the beating heart of art, poetry, and music in New York. Walk the side streets, and you'll stumble upon bookstores, old theaters, and coffee shops where legends once wrote their stories. From the Village, head south into SoHo. Here, cobblestone streets meet rows of cast-iron buildings, their facades a canvas for some of the best street art in the city. SoHo is a paradise for art lovers and shoppers alike. Step into a boutique gallery, browse designer shops, or simply wander and soak in the creative atmosphere. Even the walls here feel alive with expression. Every corner seems to whisper, "This is where style is born." Next, make your way to one of New York's most unique green spaces, the High Line. Built on an old elevated railway, this park stretches above the streets of Manhattan, transforming industrial history into something beautiful. As you walk, you're surrounded by gardens, sculptures, and stunning views of the city below. On one side, modern glass towers gleam in the sun. On the other, murals and art installations remind you of the city's creativity. The High Line isn't just a park, it's a living example of how New York reinvents itself, turning the forgotten into something extraordinary. By midday, you'll be ready for a meal, and there's no better place than Chelsea Market. Once a biscuit factory, this massive indoor food hall now serves flavors from all around the world. Whether you crave fresh oysters, handmade tacos, artisanal chocolates, or a steaming bowl of ramen, Chelsea Market has it all under one roof. Grab a table, sample different stalls, and let your taste buds travel as much as your feet have. Eating here is like taking a culinary tour of the world without ever leaving Manhattan. In the afternoon, it's time to cross the river again and experience the creativity and charm of Brooklyn. Start in Williamsburg, a neighborhood known for its trendy cafes, vintage shops, and colorful street art. This is where New York feels young and alive, a place where artists and dreamers gather. Grab a coffee from an independent roaster, browse quirky bookstores, or simply sit by the East River and watch the Manhattan skyline stretch before you. Then head to DUMBO, short for Down Under the Manhattan Bridge Overpass. This neighborhood offers one of the most iconic views in the city. Stand at the corner of Washington Street and Water Street, and you'll see the Manhattan Bridge perfectly framed between red brick warehouses, with the Empire State Building peeking through in the distance. It's a photo that has become synonymous with New York itself. From here, walk down to Brooklyn Bridge Park, where green lawns and piers stretch along the waterfront. As you sit here, the skyline of Manhattan rises across the water like a living painting, changing with the colors of the setting sun. But your journey isn't complete without one final moment of awe. As the evening arrives, head back into Manhattan and make your way to One World Observatory, perched at the top of the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere. The elevator ride itself is a spectacle, walls that transform into a time-lapse of New York's history as you ascend. And then, suddenly, the doors open, and you're standing above the city. From here, you see it all. The bridges glowing against the night, the rivers reflecting the lights, the neighborhoods stretching endlessly in every direction. It's the perfect ending, a view. As you stand there, looking out over the endless lights, something becomes clear. 5 days are never enough for this city. You could spend 5 years here and still uncover new corners, new flavors, new stories. But that's the beauty of New York. It doesn't just give you memories. It gives you a piece of itself. And when you leave, you'll carry it with you. The energy of Times Square, the art of the Met, the hope of Ellis Island, the resilience of the 9/11 Memorial, the laughter in Greenwich Village, the magic of the Brooklyn Bridge, the view from One World Observatory. It all becomes part of your story. Because New York isn't just a city you visit. It's a city that lives inside you long after you've gone. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed exploring Prague as much as I enjoyed guiding you through it. If you found this travel guide helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more beautiful destinations from around the world. Got a favorite spot in Prague? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, safe travels and see you in the next video.